What if you could manifest over $17,000 in just 2 hours, but without ever visualizing? Well, this is exactly what I did with a simple method I learned straight from Bob Proctor. So in this video, I'm going to give you the exact steps so you can copy and apply them right away. Now, to understand how to apply them, we're going to need an image of our mind to work with. You see, most people have never been shown how the mind actually works. Most people really think that the mind is the brain. But it's not. The brain is a physical instrument, whereas the mind is activity. It's the flow of thought that turns invisible ideas into visible results. So let's use Bob Proctor's famous stick person to make this really simple. I want you to let this large circle represent your mind. Now, the mind's split into two parts, okay? Top half conscious, and the bottom half is subconscious. Now, your conscious mind is where you think, reason, and choose. So you can accept or reject ideas. You decide what you give your attention to and what you ignore. Now, the bottom half of the large circle is your subconscious mind. This part does not reject. It accepts whatever is repeatedly impressed upon it with feeling. So whatever you continually hold with emotion, it sinks in here and it becomes your dominant vibration. I want you to let this small circle represent your body. Now, your body is the physical instrument that expresses whatever is fixed inside of the subconscious mind. So, thought, impressed with feeling, moves your body into action, and those actions produce your results. So, every result that you have right now, I don't care if it's your income, your business, your relationships, it's a reflection of what has been planted in your subconscious mind through repetition and emotion. Very powerful, right? This is why Bob Proctor always said we literally become what we think about. Not what we occasionally think about, but what we continually think about with feeling. And you know, when I really grasped this, I started treating thoughts like seeds. I stopped entertaining the idea that results were random or lucky because I realized that my outer world was a print of what I impressed in my inner world. So what I did, I decided to do something that would lock in the truth into my behavior. And this is where the goal card comes in. You know, Bob told me that my goal card had to be with me at all times because it keeps the image of what we want right here in our conscious mind. So as I carry it, I look at it, I think about it, and those thoughts begin to sink into the subconscious. Now, when that happens, what happens to me? Well, I start to feel that the goal's already mine. And once I'm emotionally involved with it, my behavior starts to change automatically. Does that make sense? So let me share what really played out for me. You know, a while back, I'd been studying and living this material deeply, like I was studying every day. And I had a very clear goal, you know, to turn my yearly income into a monthly income. And guess what? I did it. I did it in 5.5 months. Now, when that happened, I was so amazed at how predictable it actually was that I decided to go and work with Bob Proctor, and I'm now top 1% of his consultants worldwide. But guess what? I did not stop there because after achieving that goal, I went on and set an even bigger one. And because I was constantly thinking about this new goal, I was carrying it with me, I was reading it, things began to move again. And people just started reaching out to me out of nowhere. And it was just like, Joel, how do I work with you? And recently I made approximately $17,353 in less than 2 hours. Now, this was not luck or coincidence. This was the law of cause and effect at work through my subconscious mind. Now, if we go back to the stick person, you can see exactly how this happened. The thoughts I was holding in my conscious mind, ideas of abundance, service, and expansion, were being impressed into my subconscious mind through repetition and feeling. Now, what did those thoughts do? They created a feeling within me of certainty, and that feeling caused my body to act in harmony with that vibration. I naturally communicated differently, I showed up differently, and I attracted people who are aligned with that frequency. This works every single time with every single person because we are dealing with universal principles. You know, one of my clients, Ibrahim, he did the exact same thing. He made his first $10,000 month after learning how to stay emotionally connected to his goal rather than treating it just like some task. My other client, Jonas, He used it as well. He created 30,000 in a single day and later signed a contract worth 139,000. And Peter applied this right at the beginning of launching his new company. Do you know within 6 weeks, he generated £20,000 and later he made £40,000 in a month. Now, what did they have in common? None of them were forcing results. They started aligning their thinking, their feeling, and their behavior just followed naturally. This is what I mean by taking a quantum leap. They're not miracles. They're all the natural result of just changing the vibration that you live in. So now you understand how your mind works. Let's actually talk about how to use it. Because really, it's one thing to know this intellectually, right? But it's a completely different thing to start using it to create measurable results. And this is where your goal card becomes the daily link between thought and manifestation. So here's how it works. I want you to take a card, okay? Something you can keep in your wallet, or if you're a lady, your purse or your pocket, okay? And on that card, I want you to write your goal in present tense, and it has to be a specific goal, and it should start with I am so happy and grateful now that, and then describe your specific result as though it already existed. So for example, I am so happy and grateful now that I am earning £25,000 every single month doing what I love and helping other people transform their lives. So keep it simple, emotional, and clear. Okay, your subconscious does not respond to complicated language, it responds to repetition and feeling. Now, once you've written it, this card becomes sacred. It must never ever leave you. Okay, it should be the first thing that you look at in the morning and the last thing that you see before you go to bed, and something you should touch and read multiple times throughout the day. Now, why am I telling you to do this? Because every time you read it, you're consciously choosing to plant that image into your subconscious mind. Now, at first, yeah, it's probably going to feel mechanical, but after enough repetition, you're going to start to feel it. And that feeling is the key. Feeling really is the secret. So when the image and the feeling fuse together, guess what happens? Your subconscious mind begins to accept it as reality. And look at this. Because your subconscious mind controls your body, it will start to move you into actions that align with the image automatically. You don't even need to think about it. Okay? You're going to find yourself speaking differently, walking differently. You're going to make decisions faster, and you're going to notice opportunities where before they seemed like there was none. This is very powerful. Okay? This is how the law of cause and effect works through you, not by force, but by alignment between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Now, here's what most people get wrong. What do? They set a goal, they write it once, and then they put it away. And they only engage with it when it's convenient. But the subconscious mind does not change for occasional focus. It changes through sustained focus. So this is not a motivational quote, okay? It's a tool for reprogramming the subconscious mind through constant repetition. Now, I want you to really pay attention to what I'm about to say. If you're not carrying your goal card, you're carrying your old paradigm. Okay, if you let your attention drift back to your circumstances, then you're reinforcing the very pattern that you want to change. You've got to make a committed decision that everywhere you go, your goal card goes with you. Okay, it should be stuck to you like glue. Now, if you follow this step to the letter, you're going to start seeing physical evidence. New clients are going to come in, new ideas. Like, this is so important. I drill my clients on this. Right? All this manifestation stuff, woohoo, like, it's not superstition, it's psychological conditioning. The more often you impress the same idea, the more your subconscious accepts it as the only possible reality. So when you read your goal card, I mean, don't just say the words, feel them. See the image in your mind. Imagine receiving the message that you just signed a new client, celebrating the payment, helping the person, and feel the gratitude now, because emotion is what bridges the gap between thought and creation. And I also want you to repeat this statement at least once a day whilst holding your goal card. This truth is clearly imaged in my conscious mind. It is effectively planted through constant spaced repetition in my subconscious emotional mind. Therefore, it is presently moving into physical form. Now, as you do this day after day, something subtle is going to begin to happen. Your old self-image is going to start to fade. The old doubts and stories, they're going to lose the power. You begin to act like the version of you who already has what you want, and that is when your outer world is going to start to mirror it. Okay, this is the process that led me to manifest $17,353 in just 2 hours. And it's the same process that produced quantum leaps for dozens of my clients. You can do it. And you now know how to use your gold card. But if you don't change your paradigm, you can forget about it. None of it's going to stick. So watch this next video where I'll show you exactly how to change that.